So Carolee, I wanted to ask you to expand on what the State Water Project is, because I lack any knowledge of the history of that.
All right. I'm going to go back to the 1930s, which is when the State Water Project first surfaced during the time of the Depression. And the governor of California wanted to build the State Water Project, but there wasn't enough funds because of the Depression. So it became the Central Valley Project, and it was funded by the federal government. And that's how the Central Valley Project started in the 30s. That was built and completed and started delivering water in the 50s, only to, well, primarily 92% is to agriculture south of the Delta. That's the first thing. The second thing was in the late 50s, Governor Pat Brown was very high on building the State Water Project. And so he did a lot of work in the legislature, and in 1961, the Burns-Porter Act was passed by the voters of California. And this was the funding for the State Water Project. And again, we were not told the truth about how much it was going to cost and or how reliable it was. They thought there was a lot more water in it than there actually could ever be. And the voters did approve it by a very slim margin, because by slim I mean at the time the voters in Northern California saw this as a water grab, and they've always seen this as a water grab. And they're correct, it is a water grab. And so they were very opposed to the State Water Project. But it did pass, and the State Water Project is primarily one river, the Feather River, which has the dam it's Lake Oroville up in Northern California, and it comes through the Feather River, and it comes through the Delta, and it's put in the State Water Project canal south of the Delta, and then it comes up over the Tehachapi Mountains. It's the highest consumer of energy in the state of California, the pumping, the highest consumer of energy. So think of that when you think of all this. And it was actually, it first started to deliver water in the late 60s, I think 1968 or 1970. And what happened was that parts of what they first envisioned in the State Water Project, water coming from the North Coast rivers, never happened. And the peripheral canal, which was also part of the original State Water Project, never happened. And Governor Jerry Brown, Pat Brown's son, was in office when the big fight, well, let me step back once. After Jerry Brown, we had Governor Ronald Reagan. And Governor Reagan took all of the North Coast rivers and some of the others off the table as sources for the State Water Project when he made them into wild and scenic rivers, which made they're off the table. So that's a big chunk of what they were expecting to use as supply was gone. So the original amount that they expected, you could never be delivered without that supply or the peripheral canal. Now, Jerry Brown tried to push the peripheral canal in 1982, and there was a referendum. He tried to push it without a vote, but the people got incensed and forced to vote, and it lost badly, the peripheral canal. So the State Water Project, even today, can never deliver what it has promised. Whether the system is adjudicated or not, it could never deliver it. And that's what our Monterey case was so clear about when we won in 2000. So fast forward to today, the State Water Project can deliver approximately, according to the state, 2 million acre feet of water, not 4.23.